Hey, what's going on? I hope you're doing amazing. Today, we're talking about the Polyend Dreadbox Medusa. And it's probably the coolest synth that I've ever played before. If you're subscribed to this channel, then you know I'm big on the grids. I'm a big grid user. I'm a grid addict. I'm really into grids. And this is like the perfect sort of combination for me. And I'm upset that more synths don't have this. Every synth from this day forward should have a grid instead of a keyboard. You know what I'm saying? I love this synth so much. I got it on Friday and I haven't stopped using it. I don't know every single thing about it, but I know it pretty well. Let me show you this chord progression that I just recently learned. So it's, I got it. Okay, so I've recorded that into the grid and I've got these different options here. It would be really cool if you could trigger this from an external sequencer or your DAW or something like that, but unfortunately you can't control this. Not a big deal. I'll show you a workaround for that. Let's get into these tips. Tip number one is to go ahead and create your own init patch. I think it's always good to have your own starting place so that whenever you fire up your synth, you know exactly where you're at. So I'm going to show you how to do that. First, we'll go ahead and load up something here so that the panel is not reflective of what's playing here. We're going to go ahead and create an initialized patch, and we're going to go from top to bottom. Let's go ahead and turn this stuff off here. So sync is off, all these are off, right? And this allows you to switch between the two different oscillators. Here is digital, here's analog. On the analog is just go ahead and throw this to saw, 0. Saw, 0. Oh geez, saw, 0, okay? And then let's go ahead and make sure that it's in tune. So 0, 0, 0. Fine tune right down here. Let's go ahead and just pop that to 0, 0, 0. Let's go ahead and go to digital. We're gonna hit this here, there, and then 0. Let's get that in tune, right? Here, saw, 0. Let's get that in tune. Here, saw, 0. Make sure that that's in tune as well. And then fine tuning for these. Here, we'll go here, 0, 0, 0. That's it. For the filter is on currently. So what we can do is just sort of set up like maybe just a little bit more of a normal filter and then turn the amount down, double click it to turn it off. Here, it looks like this envelope has something on it. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna press it and then change the target to none, right? Double press, turn that off. I don't know if FM is on, but we're just gonna shut that all the way off, right? Pulse width down, noise, let's pop it in the center, wavetable like so. Okay. Now we can sort of make our way down from the top up here. I normally will sit down and I'll want to play chords. So I'm going to go to P2 mode, right? Make sure that glide is down. And then I don't want the cutoff all the way open. This is just me. Also, I'm going to make sure that all of my analog oscillators and my digital oscillators are up. So we're just going to go bing, 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 bing. We're going to the amp. I'm going to just go ahead and make sure that the amp amount is all the way up. And we'll do that for the sustain. For each one of your patches that you save, it will also save your grid layout. So if you're doing different things for different patches, it will bake that into the particular grid layout, which is cool. What we're gonna do is we're gonna push this encoder, and this is the preset menu, so it allows you to specify certain settings for the preset. First, we're gonna go to scale and make sure that no scale is selected. Then layout, I'm gonna go to 5 because this is how I like to play the grid. If the preset that you loaded up also had some items in the LFO here, what you could do is just same thing, target, and then just throw that to none. And then if it's on, you just double click to shut it off. I want the 2-pole filter instead of the 4-pole filter. And then that's it. Maybe the amp envelope, I might just sort of dial this in a little bit. Cool, that sounds good. So to save your init patch, just go ahead and hit save. You can select the bank, and then I'm gonna select this first pad here, save, and now it has saved my preset to B1. So now, whenever I load up the synth, if I start making different things and I'm in different presets and I want to get back to an init patch, I know for me, it's gonna be B1 and it's gonna be all of the things that I just said. So that's my first tip, right? Create your own init patch. You should do that for all your synths that you have. Your init patch, not their init patch, it's yours. It's your synth, you should, right? You know what I'm saying? It's yours. Here's my tip number 2. Before you start playing on the synth, I would say disable the filter. Just mess with the amp and get familiar with how the envelope sounds. It's not extremely snappy. Let me show you what I'm talking about. And maybe this is just me, right? But I'm not hearing a ton of difference between like 100% on the sustain and then like 75%. Maybe it's just me. See what I'm saying? It's not super snappy. I might be wrong on this because I'm not like a mathematician or whatever, but to me, it seems like the envelopes are linear and there's not like exponential. It's, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Tip number 3 is about the LFO behavior. The LFO has 2 different modes. It is basically like a free running mode, and then there is a BPM clock sync mode. There's no way to disable the LFO trigger whenever it is in that clock or that synced mode. Whenever it is in the free running mode, there's no way to set a key trigger for that. I spent a little bit of time like digging through the menu, like how do I turn off the LFO trigger? There isn't one. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Okay, so let's go ahead and take LFO 1, let's turn it on, and we're just gonna go ahead and put the target to pitch. Yeah, boy. As I'm tapping this, it's not re-triggering the phase. It's just kind of like wherever it's at, whenever you hit this, that's where it's gonna play. But if I go to sync mode, and I turn sync mode on, right? It almost sounds like an envelope. Number 4 is the play modes, and they're pretty straightforward, right? So M is mono mode. It's gonna function the way that you sort of would think. You basically have 6 oscillators that you can jam through this one note here. In P1, in this second play mode, you're getting 3 notes. They did this in a really sort of smart way. This is voice 1, this is voice 2, and this is voice 3. Turn these down. I'm gonna go to the digital oscillator, so that's this one here. Boom, boom, right? Now, you see that I'm pressing the second note, I'm not getting anything. If I were to turn analog oscillator 2 up, if I were to turn this up, then we're gonna get this as well. Maybe we detune this one here. Continuing onto this last one here, on both analog and digital, we'll make them square waves. I've made a mess. I need to get back to my initialized patch. Load, boom, there. Beautiful. Tip number 5, if you are building a patch and you find that it's out of tune or it sounds out of tune, but all your oscillators are in tune, what you'll want to do is go to config, go all the way down to the bottom, calibration, start, boom. Just let it do its thing. And as you can see, it's starting to pick up a little bit once it gets going. It's like 20 seconds. That's enough time for you to sit and look at the wall and contemplate what you're doing with your life. Sit in the void, you know what I'm saying? Just experience it. The terror and the horror, it's all right there. Tip number 6, or my workaround for not being able to trigger this. And maybe there's a way that you can, and if you know, please let me know, because that would make me super happy. Here's what we got. Gonna go ahead and hit record in my DAW. So I gave each of them enough time to be able to fade out. I'm sure that there's probably a way that you can do this in other DAWs. This is how you do this in Ableton. You just go ahead and right click, slice to new MIDI track. This is kind of cool. This came out all right. This is a really good place for you to work out chord progressions and just sort of figure out, like, do these go together? Cool. I hope that you found it helpful. I'll be making a bunch more videos about the Medusa for sure. Also, I just got this. I haven't even plugged it in yet or done anything with it because I just got this on Friday. I just want to learn it all, but I recognize that I'm developing a habit here. Let me know if you have any questions. If you know any little secrets about Medusa, share it with me because I would love to know. Got a link in the description for Patreon. Would appreciate it if you joined. If Patreon's not your thing, I've got links for my music down in the description. Bandcamp, you can support me over there. And bye.